the heart of northern Iraq, a small village called Al-Awja bore witness to the birth of a boy whose life would later captivate, terrify, and shape the modern Middle East. Saddam Hussein was born on April 28, 1937, into a world of hardship and scarcity. His father had died before he could know him, leaving a void that would shadow his early years. The dusty streets, mud brick houses, and endless stretches of desert were the first backdrop to a life that would soon intersect with history itself. Saddam's early environment was harsh, yet formative. He absorbed the world around him like a sponge. The whispered politics of elders, the stories of resistance against foreign influence, and the simmering tensions in a country struggling to define itself after decades of colonial legacy. Every glance at the horizon, every dusty street, every voice in the market became a fragment in the mosaic that would shape his character. Saddam's youth was a mixture of adversity and education. His mother, a strong and determined woman, became the primary figure in his life. Extended family members supported the household, but resources were scarce. Even as a young boy, Saddam showed signs of intelligence, cunning, and a thirst for understanding the world around him. He worked odd jobs, helped in family chores, and yet managed to find time for schooling. Although his education was intermittent and often disrupted by poverty and personal challenges. Despite his humble beginnings, Saddam was deeply affected by the political climate around him. Nationalism, Arab pride, and anti-imperialist sentiment were widespread in Iraq during the 1950s. He witnessed growing resentment against colonial powers and the influence of foreign nations in Iraqi affairs. These formative impressions planted seeds of a fierce political identity, one that would later manifest in both ambition and ruthlessness. Even as a child, stories of revolt, resistance, and pride in Arab identity fascinated him. He would often listen to elders recount battles against British occupation, the struggle of ordinary Iraqis, and the vision of a united Arab world. Saddam's imagination intertwined with these tales, shaping a worldview that combined personal ambition with nationalist fervor. By the time he reached his late teens, Saddam Hussein had developed an intense interest in politics. Iraq in the 1950s was a country in turmoil. The monarchy, weakened by corruption and foreign influence, faced growing unrest. Students, activists, and secret societies debated the future of the nation. In this environment, Saddam found a political home. In 1957, he officially joined the Ba'ath Party, a revolutionary Arab nationalist movement advocating for unity, social reform, and resistance to imperialism. Here, Saddam's cunning intelligence began to shine. He quickly became known for his strategic thinking, organizational skills, and an unusual capacity for ruthlessness. He participated in covert operations, street protests, and political organizing, cementing a reputation that would follow him throughout his life. The Ba'ath Party's ideology resonated deeply with Saddam. He embraced the vision of a united Arab world, free from Western domination, and driven by a strong, centralized leadership. But more than ideology, Saddam was motivated by personal ambition. He wanted power, influence, and the ability to shape history. This combination of nationalist passion and personal drive would become the defining characteristic of his political career. By the late 1950s, Iraq was a hotbed of revolutionary activity. Military officers plotted against the monarchy. Student movements demanded reform. And Saddam, now a young adult, began navigating these dangerous waters with precision. He learned the art of subterfuge, manipulation, and calculated violence. For Saddam, the ends always justified the means. Saddam's first major political involvement came in the backdrop of the 1958 Iraqi coup, which toppled the monarchy and established a republic under General Abedi al-Karim Qasim. While he was not directly involved in the coup, Saddam closely observed the shifting power dynamics. He learned the delicate balance of alliance and opposition, understanding that survival in politics required not just intelligence, but absolute loyalty, fearlessness, and ruthlessness. During this period, Saddam was involved in several Ba'athist conspiracies aimed at consolidating power. Some of these attempts failed, resulting in arrests, torture, and narrow escapes. Yet, each failure hardened him, teaching him the limits of trust, the dangers of betrayal, and the necessity of controlling every aspect of political life. Saddam's reputation as a strategist grew. Party members began to see him not just as a loyal activist, but as a man capable of decisive action and tactical brilliance. By 1963, the Ba'ath Party briefly seized power in Iraq, though internal divisions led to its downfall within months. Saddam, operating behind the scenes, learned valuable lessons in patience, deception, and long-term planning. Through the 1960s and early 1970s, Saddam's political star rose steadily. He became a key architect of Ba'athist strategy, responsible for security, intelligence, and party discipline. His control over the party's organizational and military operations gave him unprecedented influence. While others in the party sought popularity and charisma, Saddam focused on structure, control, and the consolidation of power. Saddam also began crafting his public persona. A man of calculated appearances, he knew the importance of projecting strength and decisiveness. At the same time, he maintained a network of loyalists who ensured that any opposition, whether within the party or outside, was neutralized quickly. Fear and loyalty became his dual tools of governance. By 1979, Saddam Hussein had maneuvered himself into the position of president of Iraq, succeeding Ahmed Hassan al-Bakr. The transition was swift and ruthless. Within days, Saddam purged the party of potential rivals, consolidating absolute authority. The man who once roamed the dusty streets of Tikrit now controlled the fate of a nation and captured the attention of the world.